Welcome to Room to Be,
where there's always room to be an informed citizen.
Today's lesson, political parties. And Andy, never before have political parties seemed so incapable of governing. But we're seeing something on the streets we haven't seen in a long time, a grassroots movement, both on the right, the Tea Partiers, and on the left, the Occupy Wall Streeters, and they're beginning to make a lot of noise, literally.
And it's no coincidence that while our parties seem paralyzed to get actions done in Washington, D.C., we have activists on the right in the Tea Party and activists on the left with the Occupy Wall Street movement taking to the streets, and all of this is a cacophony of political participation that really hinges around political parties.
But political parties are necessary. Don't you think otherwise? Political parties provide a label, but most importantly, they nominate candidates who win elections. And the great challenge of all political parties is to be a welcoming body that welcomes voters into what we call a big tent so that they can, in fact, win elections. Will the Tea Partiers come out and vote? Will Occupy Wall Street come out and vote?
Yeah, remember, at the very basic point, political parties provide a label that allows voters to cast an educated vote. And oftentimes in local elections that are nonpartisan, voters are confused as to who to vote for. At least the label of a Democrat and Republican offers a chance to be educated. Parties galvanize the voters. You tend to see voter turnout much higher in elections where parties are involved. And most importantly, when your party gets elected, its responsibility is to govern. And unfortunately, when we see parties as weaker, their ability to govern also grows weak.
That party label legitimizes the process, but Andy, more and more Americans, in fact, most Americans, call themselves independents. That means they're not loyal to the Democratic Party, nor are they loyal to the Republican Party. We're looking at a political party crisis in this country, but maybe these movements that we're seeing in the streets might energize the party labels.
Well, we used to use this term political realignment when people would move from one party to the other, like the Democrats moving to become Republicans after the Civil War, or Republicans becoming Democrats during the Great Depression. But now we're going through a process of political de-alignment, where people are leaving both the Democratic and Republican Party and proclaiming their independence. We think that's part of the solution. The average American thinks that's part of the solution, but we're here to tell you that could be a major part of the problem, leaving government incapable of big solutions.
Well, there are a lot of political scientists out there who are calling for a third party, that the only way the system can be remedied is if a radical third party emerges to form a new realigning political party. Andy, here in Room 2B, let's not give up on our two-party system. They provide a very important role. They provide us that label. They legitimize elections. They educate the masses, able to raise and spend money on candidates that we can trust. The question, Andy, is will independent voters still find a home in the big Democratic tent or the Republican Party big tent? Time will tell. But follow those Tea Partiers, follow the Occupy Wall Street folks, and as far as our democracy is concerned, we don't want to see a sign out in front of our hotel saying vacancy. We want to see a sign saying occupied. Welcome to Room 2B. If you want to be a citizen, we know we're two teachers. No fancy words.
No fancy suits.
Plain talk about issues you need to know.
Just in time.